Okay, what's going on, everybody? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is DKEN, and welcome to my incredible podcast. Now, before we continue any further, do not forget to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, share this with your boys and your families. Follow me on Instagram, smash that bell notification button, and enjoy. Now let's get started. Our top story for today shall be the FBI has determined that the following words, red pill, based, and Chad, are considered violent extremism. Now let's cut straight to the chase, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, what we have here are reports that say the FBI are basically coming after all of us, specifically those that advocate for the red pill and possibly the MGTOW communities, because they view us as enemies of the state, if you will. So here's how we're going to do this. The first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to play footages one at a time, and we will critique this together. Okay, so without further ado, let's cut right to the chase.
Welcome back. It is time for the Hot Topic Buzz. New documents reveal a list of commonly used words online that the FBI has labeled extremism.
Okay, so now before we proceed any further, let's make sure that we stay on the same page, okay? So the word extremism, and I have it right here, is, and I quote, the holding of extreme political or religious views or fanaticism. So, let's take a look at this one right over here. Extremism is, quote, the quality or state of being extreme or the advocacy of extreme measures or views. Now, here's the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing toxic, or should I say extreme, about the red pill community, and nor is there anything extreme about the MGTOW community, okay? We are all about making men strong again, okay? We are all about unity, okay? That's all we're about. We're not trying to spread any violence. We're not trying to incite hate towards anybody whatsoever. Yet the FBI they're taking it upon themselves to come on in and basically point their fingers at us and say, hey, these people are the enemy. These people are the enemies and they must be stopped at once. And to that, I would say, for what? We're not even doing anything. So let's just continue on. The term is primarily used in a political or religious sense to refer to an ideology that is considered to be far outside the mainstream attitudes of society. It can also be used in an economic context. So let me try to translate this to the best of my ability. So basically, the FBI, they noticed that we are no longer interested in getting brainwashed by the media, because the media has been using us as societal slaves, if you will. We are no longer interested in what the mainstream media has to sell to us. It's because it serves no good to us. It's really that simple to understand. So let's continue on with the footage.
This after a FOIA request. It's a Freedom of Information request from the Heritage Foundation. The phrase red pill,
there you go. Now take a look at this right here.
made famous by the Matrix, is a belief that society is corrupt and people are victims of that corruption.
Okay. A belief shared by many online communities that society is corrupt and that the believer is a victim of this corruption. So, a lot of you may not notice it, but if you take a look at these words very carefully and how they phrase it, you would see that the FBI is literally trying to make us look like zombies or aliens, if you will. Like I said, that we are enemies of the state and that they must be punished. So first off, keep in mind, I'm a red pill advocate as well as an advocate for the MGTOW community. I'm all about teaching men how to improve. But here's the thing. The FBI is taking it upon themselves to point their fingers at us and trying to punish us for something that we're not even guilty of. We're just not interested in being societal workers, societal slaves anymore. So the fact that they are shaming us for being ourselves, that just doesn't sit right with me at all.
The word based, just based.
Okay, now here's another one. Refer to someone who has been converted to racist ideology. Oh, come on. Or as a way of indicating ideological agreement.
According to the FBI, refers to someone, quote, who has been converted to racist ideology. And then there's this one, LARPing. It originally refers to groups doing live action role playing. Now it's a way to, quote, deride individuals accused of not being as extreme.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest with you. I did not think that the FBI would take it to this extreme degree. I honestly did not see this coming. Because, keep in mind, we're not even doing anything illegal, and yet these people want to come at us and throw this terminology at our faces. Violent extremism. So these people, the feds, genuinely believe that red pill advocates and the rest of these people, we are all extremists and we must be stopped at all costs. For what? We didn't even do anything to begin with.
These are the words that the FBI has indicated are in the extremist category.
Tweeted the word based last night, Maria, when I was tweeting at the UFC, a response to President Trump and Kid Rock and Mike Tyson all attending that huge event in Miami over the weekend. So I guess now I'm considered an extremist by the FBI.
The stupidity that the feds had produced by publishing this shit and calling us extremists, this just demonstrates that the feds have now become woke. They are all about supporting left-wing propagandas. We've already heard of the saying, the propaganda machine. This is what the feds are doing now. They are now programming people to believe that everybody that supports the red pill are enemies. This is the problem that we have here, is that our own authorities that have sworn to protect the American public from all sorts of threats, they want everybody to believe that red pill advocates are a threat, even though we didn't do anything illegal.
Look, this is all part and parcel of what we have seen over the last several years of weaponizing government to attack the First Amendment. We just saw over the last couple of weeks the case of Douglas Mackey, who was convicted in a court of law for an anti-Hillary meme in the 2016 campaign. We also saw journalist Matt Taibbi, who's a classic liberal. He's not a conservative, and he had the IRS show up to his door on the very day that he was testifying to Congress about the Twitter files.
Okay, so allow me to take you to the first article of the day published by the New York Post. As we already all know, the New York Post, they're very well known to bashing men without hesitation. So, this article that was created by the wonderful NY Post, titled FBI Documents Associate Internet Slang Like Based and Red Pill with Extremism. So, without further ado, let's just dive right into it. It says right here, and I quote, "New documents released Monday warned that common internet lingo is being associated with violent extremism by the FBI. The Heritage Foundation's Oversight Project said it used a Freedom of Information Act request, or otherwise known as FOIA, to expose FBI documents that include glossaries showing that common internet slang has been flagged as an indication of involuntary celibate violent extremism, or incel for short, or racially or ethnically motivated violent extremism." Okay, that right away, these terminologies so far seem quite broad to me. Let's continue. Part of the document refers specifically to incels. Well, of course they do. Or those involuntary celibate, whom the threat overview. Why do you got to quote all these things? That's not necessary. Whom the threat overview describes as possibly seeking to commit violence in support of their beliefs that society unjustly denies them sexual or romantic attention to which they believe they are entitled. The assessment notes, while most incels do not engage in violence, end quote, some have been involved in at least 5 lethal attacks in the United States and Canada. Many of the terms mentioned in the FBI's list of incel terminology are either widely used across the internet or innocuous in nature. The one term in the glossary is red pill, which comes from the 1999 film The Matrix and has been used a metaphor for seeing hidden or politically incorrect truths about the modern world, particularly when it comes to politics or dating. The FBI list of key terms defines it as a belief shared by many online communities that society is corrupt and that the believer is a victim of this corruption. Well, so far, based on my personal experience, I don't see anything toxic or extreme about the red pill. It's simply teaching you how to basically wake up and show you the world for what it really is. That's it. We are not committing anything violent. We haven't done anything wrong. We haven't done anything illegal. So therefore, the FBI has no right to consider red pill advocates violent extremists. Plain and simple. Let's continue. Many of the terms listed are focused on self-improvement, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, or the struggle to reckon with the marketplace of modern dating. Well, so far, gentlemen, I don't know about any of you, but I quit the dating scene 3 years ago in order to concentrate on what? On self-improvement. It says it right here. Plain and simple. Let's continue. The glossary defines the term Chad as a race-specific term used to describe the idealized version of a male who is very successful at getting sexual and romantic attention from women, later noting incels unsuccessfully compete against Chads for attention. So what can I say? This world, we already know that it's ugly. We're going to have winners and losers. So you got one or two choices. You can either improve yourself or you can struggle in life in general. Okay? That's what the red pill taught me. It taught me that you have the ability to up your game, to basically upgrade your lifestyle overall, your entire life. So you can either choose to win or remain as an average loser. It's up to you. That's what it taught me. Let's continue. The list also included the term looks maxing, which is defined in the document as the process of self-improvement with the intent to become more attractive. There are many terms associated with self-pity rather than violence, such as saying it's over to convey the hopelessness of being an incel, or referring to a height cell or bald cell to define people with short stature or baldness, respectively. Okay, I don't see anything wrong with. I'm going to have to see these documents myself because they could be making this shit up right now. Because the FBI list for terms associated with racially or ethnically motivated violent extremism has a mix of extreme terms and innocuous ones. Red pill also appears in this list, but with a different description. In the context of RMVE ideology, taking the red pill or becoming red pilled indicates the adoption of fucking hell, racist, anti-Semitic, or fascist beliefs. No. How the fuck can you possibly consider red pill people racist, anti-Semitic, or fascist? So at the end of the day, they're throwing labels without providing an explanation. As far as I see it, they have not provided a reason as to why they throw these labels at us. We did not do shit to deserve this at all, period. Let's continue. Based, quote unquote, is defined by the FBI as a word used to refer to someone who has been converted to racist ideology or as a way of indicating ideological agreement. In regular parlance, based is a context-specific word coined by rapper Lil B that can mean, as Know Your Meme describes, anything ranging from something that is agreeable and cool to something considered anti-woke. The list also includes the term LARPing, which was originally used to describe people engaged in live-action roleplay, often as characters in high fantasy settings. In a political context, the term can be used for people with an impractical or improbable political vision, such as imagining a monarchist future for the United States. The FBI glossary says the term is used to deride individuals accused of not being as extreme or in possession of skills or other valued characteristics they claim to have. And that concludes this article. So overall, gentlemen, for those of you like myself who support the Red Pill and the MGTOW communities, gentlemen, I'm going to have to say it doesn't look good for us. And I understand that we are all innocent here, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to be the first to say this. We live in a world where you are guilty until proven innocent. And another point I like to get across is this. We have to continue to make a stand against the wokeness that the authorities have themselves. We cannot let them win. So that's another thing that I need to say. So now that you have that in your minds, let's move on to the next and final article. And for this one, talking pretty much the same thing. FBI continues its war on American conservatives. Agency is now flagging online terms, Red Pill, based, and Chad as extremist terms. So let's get right into it. The FBI on Monday released new documents that reveal common words used on the internet are being flagged by FBI agents as extremism. The new documents were released by the FBI after the Heritage Foundation's Oversight Project filed a FOIA request. The documents are titled Involuntary Celibate Violent Extremism, and in them they contain a glossary of several words that the FBI claimed were used by incel extremists. The terms Red Pill, Chad, and based were all considered to be extremist rhetoric. How the fuck can you possibly do that? The term Red Pill, we already been through this. A person's perspective is dramatically transformed, and it became popular after it was used in the 1999 movie The Matrix. Chad is internet slang for an alpha male, and base just means to stay true to yourself. Okay, so check this out. Here it is. I'm going to move this very carefully. Hold on. I'm going to move this very slowly so that all of you can see. So as you can see, what the fuck? Cell, ascension, used to describe an incel leaving incel status by gaining sexual or romantic attention. Just be first, a phrase used to describe the targeting of minors for sexual advances in order to be their first sexual experience before their perceived corruption by society, and is justified, quote unquote, by some as the only chance incels have to ascend from incel status. The fuck is this shit? It's over, a comment which describes the hopelessness of being an incel. The typical response to this comment is, it never began. This just goes to show that society in general, which including the authorities, they just don't give a good fuck about what men are going through. And check it out, it's got MGTOW on it. Acronym for Men Going Their Own Way, which refers to an online community that has overlap with the incel community. Nope, that's incorrect. So this tells me right away they made this shit up. This right here, hold on. Normie, Blue Pill. Derisive terms used to describe normal people, quote unquote, not used exclusively by incels. Acronym for not in education, employment, or training, NEET, which signifies that a person is truly hopeless, not used exclusively by incels. I'm telling you right now, their definitions of these so-called terminologies are fucked up beyond belief. So, and they got red pill and black pill. Look at that. Red pill refers to a belief shared by many online communities that society is corrupt. Yeah, there you go. A victim of this corruption. We already know that. Black pill, which is specific to incels, we already know this as well, refers to a belief that this corruption can only be changed through massive societal restructuring, often including violence. So don't get me wrong. We've already seen on the news that these so-called incels, they took it upon themselves to lash out towards women. We already seen live examples such as Smooth Sanchez. We've already seen them carry pepper spray and spray random people just because they're angry at women. We've already seen that. Stacy, idealized version of a female who is very successful at gaining sexual and romantic attention from men, chooses Chad over incels. Wow. Alt-right. Based, there you go. Use the term to refer to someone who has been converted to racist ideology or as a way of indicating ideological agreement. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this this article. So, in conclusion, gentlemen, I'm just going to have to say this. Here are a few points that I need to get across, okay? Number one, continue to hold the line against everybody that opposes both the Red Pill and the MGTOW communities, because that's all we have left. Number two, from the way that I see it, the authorities have become woke. And it is thanks to modern feminazism and the mainstream media. So, and don't get me wrong, because of the fact that our authorities have gone woke, the new laws that are being written in our books now are targeting specifically men at a disproportionate rate. So that's why we are at a disadvantage more than ever before. And number three, gentlemen, I want you to continue improving yourself overall. Like in any areas that you need improvement in, I want you to do something. Get yourself a piece of paper, get yourself a pen, write down all of the issues that you are having in specific areas of your life, and then start writing down solutions on how you can resolve them, okay? So, with all of that said, this concludes this episode of my incredible podcast. So, thank you very much for watching. Please do not forget to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, share this with your boys and your families, follow me on Instagram, smash that bell notification button, and y'all have a wonderful and blessed evening. Peace out.